We told the guys when we started the prep for this, we said it was going to be a fast-paced game, and you try and give them the, you try and explain it to them. And I thought they did a great job. The 1.5 days prep, because we had 1 day on the court, 1 day of film. But as fast as the game we told them it would be, without a doubt, it's even faster. And as coaches, you expect that. But all that being said, just really proud of how the guys responded to that, because trying to prepare for that style of play, it has zero to do with the opponent. It has zero to do with the score. That is a very, very unique style of play when you talk about a 1 day prep in terms of the speed and offense and defense, the trapping and just getting it going. So to be able to execute, take care of the ball, 11 turnovers, to defend, this team has scored 90+ points 3 of their 4 games. Got a lot of respect for Mount Olive, their coaching staff, their players, how they play. And again, we got better tonight because we had to play that style of game, which was obviously totally opposite of Saturday's game versus Coastal Carolina.
Coach, we saw some of the athleticism of the team out in transition, and just how fun was it to see those guys kind of thrive off turnovers and thrive off that?
Yeah, I think you guys can see we didn't try and slow the game down. We weren't trying to, hey, we're going to run sets while they play. We said they want to push and run and defend. We're going to keep running and defend. We're going to keep attacking. And I think for the most part, we converted on those. There were some plays that in my head right now when I watched the film tonight, I said, man, we should have finished that. We should have finished that. But that's what happens in a high possession game. We think there were just as many, if not right, the same amount of possessions in the first half as there was in the entire game Saturday versus Coastal. And that says a ton. So attacking, playing in transition, we practiced that. We said we're going to do that, and I thought our guys responded. So, yeah, it was great to see.
Kind of going off that, just the pace of the game, just, getting press break work and stuff like that versus practice, but seeing it against a team, they're guarding you up and down the court. I mean, what did you like about that?
Well, we worked on it very hard yesterday. Jordan just alluded to it on the radio. I mean, we created a lot of chaos in practice yesterday. We put 6 guys on the court. We trapping continuously. And I think Jordan would say this today at shoot-around. We did more than we probably typically do in terms of continuing to work versus traps and stuff like that, because we knew that's what they do, and we couldn't allow their defense to hopefully, get their energy going with turnovers. So we embraced it. We knew what was coming. We knew that the trapping and the run and jump and continued trapping was coming, and we just wanted to attack off it. And I thought Jordan, one of the spearhead guys, led the way doing it.
Jordan, what was kind of your mindset going into this game? How do you feel like y'all handled that pressure and that up-tempo?
Pretty much just focus on our pressing. Their press and breaking their press, and pretty much getting back in transition defense too, because that was a big thing, because they was playing fast up and down the court, and we wanted to make sure that we can contain them from the previous teams that they played. So I feel like we did a pretty good job on it, but there's still room for improvement on that part of the aspect.
Jordan, you yourself, you had 3 steals today, and the team had a lot as well. How much momentum can you draw off that in a fast-paced game to be able to turn them over and kind of give them a dose of their medicine?
There's definitely a lot of momentum that we can build off of that, from stealing the ball, the dunks, and everybody sharing the ball. That pretty much gets everybody happy. And the more we share the ball, the more everybody's happy, pretty much.
Jordan, you guys had a lot of opportunities just to show your athleticism. You guys had some good dunks and stuff like that. But how do you kind of mesh that with just playing sound basketball as well?
Staying disciplined. Even though we was running up and down the court, we had a lot of things that we wanted to focus on, from new plays to breaking the press, and we just had to stay disciplined. We pretty much in that 1 day prep that we had, we focused breaking the press. It's one of our new plays. I ain't gonna say what, and we pretty much just focused on all that stuff right there. And that's what that's why we look so poised, as together as a team.
Coach, after the opener, you weren't thrilled with how after you got off to the big lead, kind of let that go. How do you assess today, once you did get off to a big lead, how you guys handled it from there?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and that was something that we talked about. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about it, and look, they were battling the first. It was up to 20, then it got down to 9 or 10, and it was a fight. And I thought we ended the half really strong, going to halftime, and we said we have to go to, we have to obviously play a better second half, and I thought we did. And when I think back to that Wesleyan game, I didn't think we necessarily played a better second half than we did the first half. I thought we were better in the second half tonight. And again, that style of play, a lot of time, and they're really good at it. You know, their conditioning and what they do sometimes is going to wear teams down. And I don't know if they got worn down. I'm not saying that at all, but I know this: we were able to continue playing the way we wanted to play in the second half. We didn't, until the last 6-7 minutes, slow it down and say, hey, you know, we put some new guys in and we were working on something different. But we wanted to stay in that tempo. And when we going into this game, we told the guys two main things: our transition defense and taking care of the basketball. Those were the two biggest things. And pleased with how we took care of the basketball. We will continue to build in our transition defense. But if we can find a way to build off this kind of speed, I think it bodes well for playing teams that maybe don't play quite at that same space and pace.
Jordan, you've obviously had some pretty impressive dunks. How would you rate, you know, that one-handed slam in the first half?
I'd say like an 8, 7. I feel like I had better, but you know, it was an 8. So
What's going through your head when you're rising up to the rim in that situation?
oh, I was gonna dunk it.
Coach, I was going to ask, so Travion obviously goes down. Just any early prognosis on him?
Don't know anything. I'll get back there and see how he's doing. Obviously, it was, you know, enough for him not to be able to play in the second half. And that was another piece that you really, from a coaching staff perspective, we had to go change some lineups and move guys around, and you know, and guys that were all of a sudden playing at the guard spot had to go up to the forward spot, and guys that were at the forward spot had to play a little bit at the 5 today. And I don't know if that necessarily will translate moving forward, because you're able to do that in this game in really a spaced game like that. But that was a good sign, and guys got minutes, and I thought they did a good job with them.
Going off that, how do you think Jay, you know, did obviously double-double and, you know, doing some of those things in transition we had talked about?
Yeah, and you know, you and I have spoken about that before. I thought he was dynamic, and he's just going to get more and more comfortable with the, you know, making decisions at that speed. But he went and he rebounded 11 rebounds. He attacks the rim. You know, he's such an unselfish player. He defends. So again, the whole team. I really thought this, and I told this to the guys. We had, I think it was 13 players that played. I think Evan and Ladante didn't, you know, as guys that are redshirting, and Reed is out right now. So I think that's 13 guys that played, and I might be off. But I thought every single guy really did a great job in tonight's game. They did what we asked them to do. And then I thought the two redshirts, Evan and Ladante, I thought they were fantastic in the day of prep. Again, I think people realize now, you end up facing a team like that in the second round of the NCAA tournament, and you don't get a day to practice, and you just got to go watch film and show your team. Like, that style of play is a very challenging style. So I'm glad we had a chance to do that. That helps us moving forward, understanding how to quickly shift your mind from one style to the next, prepare, and then go execute it. And so I was pleased with that. But I thought all the guys really worked for the last 2 days to get ready for this game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
Coach.
guys.
Thank you, guys.